Oh, go ahead.
No, no, I'm so sorry. I just need to introduce you first, Dee.
Yeah.
Um, Thank you, everyone. Good morning or good evening, wherever you are. This is Lakshmi Pavani, and we are from Marketing Cloud Developers Group, Melbourne. And yeah, here we have Dee from Florida, and irrespective of her time zone, and she jumped on, and yeah, I had a very good chat with her. A lot of valuable things and inputs. And when I asked Dee, what do you do? Then she simply said, I'm a marketer. That makes more sense to me. I just wanted to know what else she could share with us. Over to you, Dee. Just share whatever you want to. Thank you.
Thank you. So, Dee Surico, hello from sunny Florida. I've been in the marketing space for 15 plus years. I also have been in the Salesforce ecosystem for at least 10 years, and then working with various, oh, here we go. Uh, the marketing solution specialist for primacy. So I work for an agency, but I've also been the internal marketer. So when I say I'm a marketer first, that's really it. It's that, whether we're using Salesforce Marketing Cloud or, now some other Salesforce Marketing Cloud products combined with CRM, that's really where I love to be. So I call it marketing automation. And then I also lead a user group as well for Salesforce admins in sunny Boca Raton, Florida. So thank you for having me on this webinar. I'm very excited to talk about this subject. Um, Breaking into the Salesforce Marketing Cloud ecosystem, this how to actually be happy and develop great tools and love what you're doing. I think this is one of the platforms that you can explore many different avenues, especially if you've come from different areas of expertise. Like said earlier, I'm a marketer first, so that's usually how I think of things, and that's what I was thinking really when putting this together. Like, what other positions can you be a part of or fulfill within the Salesforce Marketing Cloud ecosystem? So there's marketers, right? Digital marketers, developers, data architects, business analysts, project managers, account managers, all are critical. And there's lots of others, but these are the ones that I'm focusing on right now because I feel that there's a need, especially crossing over and really making a footprint in the marketing cloud world and understanding it fully. I feel that if you're a marketer or if you've had experience in marketing that's in any of these other areas, or you've developed websites or have done code for maybe a different our marketing automation platform, which I won't name any competitors, but there's lots out there. So we'll focus on these titles and what that means in Marketing Cloud. So marketers, your insight is valuable. We know how the data flows, what our key performance indicators are, how important they are to really architect from the beginning, and how does that relate into a report or a conversion or return on advertising spend. In these positions, working with automation tools, which Marketing Cloud is a great one, handles a lot of big data. If you're a traditional marketer, if you've done digital marketing, we'll get into that, but this can be a place for you, especially in regard to campaign development strategies. You can assist in helping design the customer journeys. What is that user experience? And then if you have knowledge of the tool and and or a team, most likely you'll be in a team of people. Probably, there's some instances where it's you're the Salesforce CRM admin and the Marketing Cloud admin all at one time. So it varies depending on where, what company fits you best or if you're freelancing. So in that, designing the customer journeys, what does that look like in Journey Builder versus automations? And then also defining user experiences. You can use this tool to help assist, through the whole UX process with your customer. And then reporting requirements, identifying what data needs to be available for attribution later on. It's much easier to build from the beginning and then report on it. So if you're a marketer and you don't have yet experience with Salesforce Marketing Cloud, you could come in as a junior admin or someone on the marketing team that wants to know about Marketing Cloud. So these are some of the ways that are really helpful in Marketing Cloud if you're a traditional marketer. Then we get into digital marketers, right? So as a digital marketer, you're dealing with programmatic, paid, organic, search, websites, lots of different sources of lead data, really, and that's mostly, not mostly, but during lead acquisition campaigns, you can have an integral part of setting up, what type of omni-channel campaigns you'd like to use. Is it email? Is it SMS? There's MC personalization, which does real-time personalization depending on the customer history you have. And again, a lot of times people will use Salesforce Marketing Cloud with CRM, and have that direct connector, or they'll use it with other systems and solely use it for executing campaigns or um, getting social media audiences. So if you're a digital marketer and have experience in that arena, Salesforce Marketing Cloud is a great tool for you, especially if you're going to architect tracking all over platforms that you're using, because you're spending money, right? You could be spending $1 million on paid advertising, and you can provision Marketing Cloud to do all of the attribution that you need. So bottom line stuff. And then developers. So developers are great. Any place that you've had, HTML, SQL, AMP knowledge, that really helps in your journey within Marketing Cloud. So I just called out a few. And again, just saying, if you have development skills and have maybe gotten into JS Node or, SSJS or, Python, those are all kind of relatable, and you can use different languages within Salesforce Marketing Cloud. So we'll get into that. So email and audience development. So email, primarily within Marketing Cloud, is HTML, CSS. You can use AMP script, dynamic content. You can create template libraries, content libraries, and be really dynamic with how you serve your emails. So at the end of a campaign, you can really, not at the end, but during the campaign, you can really see what's working and get the right message to the right person at the right time. So the email and audience development side of it, some of those languages, again, are HTML, CSS, AMP script, and then understanding field formats. So Marketing Cloud uses data extensions. It has very specific ways that the data can talk to each other. So understanding that configuration, even at the email level, is great. But also knowing how to build an email for Marketing Cloud to render with all of the different ISPs out there. Outlook can be one of our favorites to not render how we would like it to. So it's really important, to have good. If you building emails, Marketing Cloud is for you. Also, it has and hosts cloud pages, so that could have form integrations. That could be a preference center. It could have, any kind of campaign data, or use it as a landing page. I've seen it configured and have configured it in many ways, but a couple of technologies there, or languages, would be SSJS, as you're serving out dynamic and configuring different systems, that as well as AMP script, SQL, HTML, understanding Google Analytics 4 and GTM tags within Cloud Pages. So if any of these ring a bell, we want you in Salesforce. Also, if you're in IT and you understand, how file transfers work, or if that's really, you're used to managing big data with SFTP protocol and frameworks, PGP encryption, decryption, if the encryption key rotation is something that you're paying attention to, we use that a lot as data streams within Salesforce Marketing Cloud. Also, apps and integrations. There's a wide variety of things you can do within Marketing Cloud, or if it connects with CRM. So installing the apps, understanding them, building them eventually to work with custom solutions, that's all possible. So, as an app developer, this could be a platform for you to really solve a pain point And so then we get into the deliverability framework. This is more of your IT DNS settings, your endpoint configurations, paying attention to SSL certs. What are those? How many do you need? And other website admin related knowledge. This is, an integral part of email deliverability and also security. So anyone with that background is highly recommended to come over. And I think Salesforce now, especially that it's on Hyperforce, which is AWS servers, is super secure. So you can feel good about the systems you're using, right? I put data architects in here. So data architects really has a few meanings. You could be a Salesforce Marketing Cloud dedicated architect, or you're one of the point people that has to connect all the different sources of data, and Marketing Cloud might just be one of those platforms. There's also CDPs and tertiary databases that data may flow to. And so if you understand data, and really for me, what a data architect is just connecting systems to Marketing Cloud or from Marketing Cloud, making sure your business requirements are met, which is key, talking with stakeholders and understand the legal ramifications of how data flows, and also making sure data transfers are accurate and secure between multiple systems. This is a great area if you're a data person, because you know, it handles big data. So that's what we like. Some of the things you could do are developing a security framework for data transmission, make the decisions between, do I use APIs or SFTP protocol? Can we even get API protocol into certain systems? So, and then establishing bidirectional syncs of data, Marketing Cloud connected to certain systems, you do SFTP. Or you could, connect customer data from Marketing Cloud back into Salesforce Core, creating data streams for, Facebook audiences or TikTok audiences. And really, if you're at the CDP level, being able to feed all of that information in so that it makes sense and it's the most relevant and up to date. And also, establishing that source of truth for your user preferences and opt-outs, which is so important now with deliverability. So in my mind, and there's lots of kind of data architect positions like that. And then again, ensuring, all legal requirements through Salesforce Marketing Cloud, and data policies are being met. We all know about GDPR and CCA and a few other email regulations, but then there's SMS and, transmitting PII through different systems. So that's really where the data architecture comes in. And then we kind of switch gears. So I think a huge part of managing and being successful within Salesforce Marketing Cloud are having or being, structuring your projects to include a business analyst, a project manager, the PMs, and an account manager. So I work for an agency. I'm handling multiple clients at a time, some on not on Marketing Cloud, different systems. So I'm always having to switch gears. And, if you have that ability to be a project manager and, gather, maybe you're a business analyst and gather requirements, planning the resource allocation to make sure that you've warmed the bench and you have, the people you need to meet your deadlines. And then, account managers really, for me, is, the communication between stakeholders and, are the goals being met, and they ensure through, the client and you, because sometimes as a developer, you might not talk to the actual client, but, account managers in that sense, or wearing that hat, I guess you could say these are hats within the Salesforce Marketing Cloud ecosystem, is sometimes and even more so important than a developer, like knowing what the result should be and having the team set up to execute is vital. And I was going to put QA in here as well, like ultra important step, more of a technical, but um, I think we all quality assure our projects with others, and if you have a dedicated team for that, that's great. This is where we get into project managers, right? You're developing a clear plan and building within Salesforce Marketing Cloud. It's critical because it's live, right? So you're you don't have a dev org, if you do work for a multi-business unit company that has, a business unit that's dedicated just for building and testing, that's great. Most of the time, that's not the case. And so really having a project manager who understands, you know, if you need another developer, you need to build emails and they need AMP script, having that tool. So they're it's really vital, I think, with any project, more so Marketing Cloud is, creating project plans with collaborative systems. We use Jira, we use Confluence, and even, Bitbucket, different resources. But, creating project plans that are easily accessible with clear dates and paths to the assets, I think is vital. Again, ensuring that you have the correct tech resources available when you need them. Usually you're going in, you have a methodology, so you'll, build the data extensions, data model, then get ready for the emails. You need that QA person. So the project manager is really, that's where your insight could help, develop execute projects within Marketing Cloud. And then also like checking in on progress and establishing status meetings to meet the milestones and deadlines so that you make your clients happy, which could be an internal team, so your company happy. And then account managers. So whether you're setting up Salesforce Marketing Cloud for a client, or there's already an instance that's, that you're managing or just helping with campaigns, the account managers really relay that information between the client and your team, or you and your team, whichever role you are in. They make sure the business goals are clear with the deadlines. They count on their project managers, essentially to make all those fun Gantt charts. But in most cases, these skills are needed in Salesforce Marketing Cloud, including scoping projects accurately, making sure your statements of work and what you're saying is going to be the dollar amount for projects being built, and meeting that without burning hot is something, whether you're freelance in a company or an agency, you always want to make sure that you're using resources respectfully and honestly. So if it does take you 80 hours to do a project, then present that. So that's where the account managers really help with scoping projects. And you need that, right? Because you're probably part of a team, and everybody has their marching orders. Again, client communication regarding what the original ask is, feedback, and any critical changes that need to happen usually happen at that level. So if you have an account management background, I see it needed within the Salesforce Marketing Cloud ecosystem. And also communication with client roadmaps, right? Like as developers, we will be presented with projects, and we know that it's going to impact other areas of the system or other systems if you happen to be, more on the .com side or tech side. But just understanding, having a clear picture of where the client wants to go so that you can build in the best way possible with scale in mind. And that's where we stop. I do see a couple of questions. I know we wanted to also do a Q&A from the last session, I think, introduce that. But so I see one from Mayer: which languages and knowledge are required for Salesforce Marketing Cloud developers? It varies on which part of Marketing Cloud you're in. So if you're in, Salesforce Marketing Cloud Email Studio, and you're building the front end, that's HTML, CSS, AMP script, to develop actual apps. It depends, it's API, you're doing different calls to different languages, more, again, SSJS, maybe working with Cloud Pages, or if you have Experience Cloud, getting those two to work together. So there's the Salesforce developer side of it, again, is pretty vast. I mean, Salesforce Marketing Cloud, I would say the main one that we're always looking for, and thank God I have a great team, is SQL. So SQL is the big one, right? That really gives you the flexibility to segment your audiences, create journeys that have reportable measures, outside of a 30-day window. So SQL is that, as well as understanding file transfers, getting data in. So API, knowing SFTPs and encryption protocol. You could be an email deliverability developer where you're managing multiple brands that all have different sender authentication packages, and where does that reply mail management go to? Those are real use cases that are happening. Or if you also need to create automations based off of SQL or file transfers, exports, um, I think that could be considered part of the development side. Just depends on, but then you can get really, again, into the SSJS, the cloud pages, form integrations, which are key. Making sure that you're getting quality data in, and blocking anything that you can to make sure you're not sending emails to bots. That's important, right? So, let's see. Was that a good or do you want more specific, Mayor? I think you can ask now. All right. If there's no more questions,
I have.
okay.
Yeah, when you were sharing something about segmentation of data by field formats, what does that mean? I haven't heard that word till now.
So there's when you're creating data extensions,
Hmm.
those the data extensions, understanding the types of fields within the data extension, how the data should be ingested, or uh, or how it should relate to other databases within the system. That's important. Do you do a Boolean, or do you do string? Do you do a date format? Do you enter in the date? Like, really understanding how those fields work with each other is critical. What are your primary keys? What are your subscription keys? Is this a source file data extension? And if you have criteria set to have primary keys so that you're not creating duplicate data entry because a file overwrites, that as well. And that leads us into a whole other avenue of, understanding how the difference between add and update and overwrite, what are the pros and cons of that? Um, you know, Depending on where your information is, you can either overwrite the data daily and then use your primary keys, which are established at the field level of the data extension, to take out the duplicates, or you can dedupe it through the SQL in the secondary activity to then produce your results. So it could be a series of steps, but understanding how those fields are formatted throughout all of the you know data extensions and activities is critical. Is null, if something's null or blank, does the blank create a false positive, or vice versa? So just understanding the fields and the formats that they're written in, and then are built to translate to, through Marketing Cloud or to a different part of Marketing Cloud, is critical.
Yeah, I was over concerned. I was thinking it's a tool which I don't know.
Mm-mm. No,
Yeah,
but understanding, your data models, how to build data models, and making sure that when you're in you know, doing your attributes, that you're paying attention to the different field types that you're going to be using. That can save a lot of headaches if you understand how all of that data flows and should be flowing.
yeah. And the other one is when you say about cloud pages, GA4 plus GTM. Um, is that freely or generally available for everyone, or?
It is. So I've experienced it in a few ways, right? So form integrations, some companies will want to create cloud pages that are the landing page, or you're using your website and redirect URLs, using the cloud page um, as the way to accept the data in, and bypassing actual like storing the data in the website. And so where the GA4 Google Analytics comes in is, making sure that you're able to tag through Google, like Google Tag Manager, two different systems, but kind of work together to achieve your goals and set up your conversion stats. That's, understanding that you can have containers added to cloud pages. And what does it mean at that level compared to if you have a CDN, a content delivery network? So we all know that July 1st, Google Analytics is shutting down. They have a big clock, and everything will be Google Analytics 4. And so there's opportunities within the cloud page to add your tags, your scripts, to collect the data that you want. And I forgot to add reCAPTCHA as well. Like you can add reCAPTCHA through your Google Tag Manager on your cloud pages, and that's a way to fight bots. I don't know if you can tell by my tone, but there's been a lot of areas where I've had to mitigate spam or quarantine spam. So I'll use cloud pages combined with SQL, combined with um, uh, you know reCAPTCHA built within your Google Tag Manager layer on your cloud page. So there's fun projects like that.
Any
And
other
then,
questions? Sorry, go ahead.
no, and I was going to say, and then, a lot of times when you are syncing with Salesforce CRM core, just leveraging those two tools together, I think is amazing. So that, whether you have a cloud page as your landing page or an experience page as a portal, now we're able to share data between the both systems and really have like some aggressive marketing automation, behavioral, and demographic information available. So
So I just came across one scenario. I don't know whether it's a good to update or good to implement or not, but collecting the preferences on the website or experience portal page and then bringing them back to Marketing Cloud's data extension. Is that a good one practice?
So that really goes into your source of truth. So repeat the scenario. If you're collecting data from your website going through core and then marketing cloud.
No, just we have the preference page on one of the experience portal pages.
Okay.
And then once the subscriber enters the his or her respective preferences on the page from Experience Cloud, they should be updated on the Salesforce Marketing Cloud's data extension.
Yes. So in that instance, you can set automations every 15 minutes to bring data over from from Salesforce to Marketing Cloud. So Experience Cloud sits, on top of CRM. And then through the connector, you can send information over in intervals of 15 minutes. So sometimes it's not an immediate like thank you email that comes back or setting that's changed, but you could, depending on the frequency of when you need that data to update, that's, that is a good way to do it. Making sure that, you're pushing the data through automations.
Mm. I
It's not,
have
it's,
done. Sorry.
okay. Oh, I
Hello.
was gonna say it's a little different than Pardot or Marketing Cloud Accounting in the sense that it's a full bidirectional sync. So you always have to worry about, and even in Salesforce Marketing Cloud, you have to worry about timing of things. So if you know that you have a campaign that is like a newsletter sign up and you want to send a thank you email,
Instantly.
yeah, you have 15 minutes, so you can set up to transfer the data in 15 minutes. You just have to look at scenarios like that. Like, you want to make sure that they get the thank you, and then maybe nightly you're doing preferences, making sure that the preferences are updated on both sides. So if you're using CRM as your source of truth, which is what it's built for. You're going to be, porting over the Marketing Cloud data with their subscribe status or, bounce status.
Mm. What I did was I just built a cloud page on the Marketing Cloud and then published that URL as a part of Experience Cloud's portal page.
Did it work?
Sorry?
Did it work?
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's an instant update from the portal or Community
Yeah.
Cloud reference page to data extension.
Yeah. I mean, it's again, that could be, a different call, right? So if
Mm,
you're just using the Experience Cloud portal and you want to make sure that the data stays, you know, the CRM is updated, like you use that as your source of truth, or if you have an API call from a form integration on a cloud page and it comes over instantly, there's different ways to do it. Just depends on your cadences of like back end processing and like
mm,
what information is coming in.
yeah. Deborah has an interesting question.
Oh, hello.
Oh, I was just asking, did you work with a mentor when you first learned Marketing Cloud? How was your learning experience when you first started?
Oh, that's a great question. So I was part of a team when I first started. Again, I'd been in the Salesforce ecosystem for a while, along with other marketing automation tools. So my first interaction with Marketing Cloud, I was expecting it to be more like CRM or some of the other marketing automation tools. Quickly learned that it wasn't. I had some internal resources, and then I had a mentor in the system who I had the pleasure of working with on multiple projects hand in hand. And so really teaching me the very high level um, configurations of Marketing Cloud. And so we worked side by side for a few years and, just working with other teams with my company, um, other Salesforce developers. But yeah, and I look to the community as well. That's why I love these groups, because even if it's one person that gets something, it's like, you know, yeah. But if you can work with a mentor, what comes into effect is that same fact, right? Salesforce Marketing Cloud doesn't have a dev org. So you have to have access to Marketing Cloud at some level to be able to work in it. And you can, if you can screen share without showing PII data with someone, that might be acceptable, but err on the side of caution with that one. It's really hard if you don't have access to Marketing Cloud. Not really hard, but it could be, you need the data, you need real data to test and use. So yeah, if you can start by, you know, if anybody's looking just getting into Marketing Cloud, Deborah, or have you been in the ecosystem for a while?
Oh, I had a year and a half experience at a company using it, so it really helped working with somebody at my job to get to know the data, get to know how they use it, and then also we worked with a Salesforce administrator to work on the Sales Cloud side and to use that Marketing Cloud Connect to cross over and then do all the intricate like automations and journeys. So it was great to learn from people that worked in the company prior and then was able to mentor me. So that was great. So it's great you had some of that experience too with
I
people that can
did.
show you.
Yeah, and so honestly, I think this is where documentation is key, right?
Mhm.
So I was fortunate enough to walk in to the systems with documentation and somebody who had built the system or helped contribute to building the system. It was like version 1.0 out of version 6.0. So it's come a long way, but in that instance, I relied on documentation and how it really goes into the business rules, right? Of that like you can know the tool, but it's knowing the intricate details of the business rules and business requirements that really I focused a lot on making sure that there was breadcrumbs and trails and documentation.
Mhm.
And if I would find documentation, like I'd bring it to the surface and create a timeline of, like here's a system that has 500,000 contacts and, we're only mailing to 43,000. Why is that? Reverse engineering at that level. Um, and so, yeah. And again, attending webinars like this or meetings like this, in-person events are great. A lot of YouTube demos, I know they're out there. And like when I was starting documentation, not really so much for Marketing Cloud, but it was just starting, I think, to really become popular. Like there was a huge push on account engagement. And then I started seeing the Marketing Cloud community and documentation popping up more, or maybe because I was thrown into a few accounts and then quickly learned it. So again, if you're a marketer, right, and you have that marketing mind first and you can connect the dots like, oh, the data stopped or the data's dirty, it's not the API. What is it? The form. Like just understanding the overall like marketing structure of business, I think is fundamental as well in learning Marketing Cloud. Like knowing what you want to do, seeing what competitors are doing, and figuring out a way. Like it's very open in that sense where, you can craft a way, and it can be a few different ways, but whatever your methodology is, can be scalable as well.
Yeah, we had great documentation, and then I would continue to add to that. So, that was a great understanding of, where is the documentation? How can we improve on it? How can we keep it current? And, have it ready for the people that come after us. And then they also had great, like, training videos in the company from the people prior. So I was able to watch some of that and then adapt it to, is it still current or is it old information, and how can we learn from what's current or what's old and just be able to decipher that. And so that was interesting, having trails of videos at a company when you're starting out, to see what the thought process was of people behind you that left.
Yeah, and to be honest, it's rare that I've had that experience. Like mostly I'm walking into a situation where other people built it. There is no documentation or little, and it's outdated. So documentation like is very important.
Yeah.
Maintaining it, I make sure to take time to do proper documentation for the person that sits in my seat after me, or in addition to. And so I think that knowledge sharing and having the right systems to be collaborative, I think is key as well. Just, minimizing any room for error, and having collaborative documents with tracking is important, understanding the whole start to finish process. So those are things that I kind of bring to the table as, again, as a marketer. But yes, I actually was fortunate to learn from one of the best in the world. Uh, so I've really enjoyed my time with Marketing Cloud. I've unfortunately have to work with others, not unfortunately, but I work with other systems too. And, I've grown used to the quirkiness of Marketing Cloud. But yeah, if you can get if it's something that you're passionate about and you're trying to get an instance, like they're coming out with marketing growth, which should be available soon, I think, at a broader level. But there's other tools, and Marketing Cloud could just be one of them, right? But it's good to know. So
Yep, good ideas.
thanks.
Anyone has any questions? If not, I will ask.
ID. So Mayur this side. Yeah.
Nice to
Yeah.
meet you.
Yeah. I'm working in SFMC from last 1 year. So which certification, as an email developer I'm working. So which certification do you think I will do in the future so it is helps in my career?
There's the email specialist, Marketing Cloud email specialist. Are you in the proper Marketing Cloud, like when I say proper, I mean Salesforce Marketing Cloud, not account engagement, right?
Yes, yes. Salesforce
SFMC.
Marketing
Okay.
Cloud.
I know that
We
now there's
develop
two projects, so
marketing
I always like
on
to make
develop
sure.
the emails only. So
Mhm.
yeah.
I would say the email specialist. Are you just starting? Oh, sir. I feel like I'm echoing. Are you just starting your journey within certifications, or
Yeah,
do you
sorry,
have
what?
any? Do you have current certifications like for admin?
No, no, I didn't have any.
Okay, yeah, I would say email specialist, um, and then admin certifications are helpful because you have to know. I mean, it's not just it could be just the email, but you have to know how it works, receiving from the data extensions and like we're kind of going over the field. So having that the admin, I think is good as well.
Yeah. Okay, thanks.
Welcome.
I just want to add one more thing if Mayur is open to listen. There is a new certification called Marketing Cloud Associate in the
Mhm.
industry. So maybe it would be helpful for you to increase the confidence and then you can take care of the email specialist. It's up to you. Associate is not mandatory, but it's good to go.
Mm.
Yes, sure. Okay.
I have two recurrent burning questions, Dee.
Okay.
I don't expect you to give an answer or yes or no, but I just want to put them in front of you. First thing, um, do we find any volunteering opportunities in Marketing Cloud so that we can see the screen or learn the real time things?
You can, sorry, you can. I would say like nonprofit organizations. I've seen, you know, different nonprofits have it. There are volunteer opportunities, more on the junior level, but you could quickly grow. I think, you know, there's some hospital systems out there, like again, the more of the non-for-profit hospitals. A lot of hospitals use Marketing Cloud. I would look in boys and girls clubs. There's quite a few people who have Marketing Cloud that maybe purchased it a while ago and have under a certain amount of records and don't pay a lot for it, that you could learn from. And so I'll put my feelers out and see. Lately it's been like healthcare has been the main one that I've seen, like not so much volunteer but interns for. So I think the two that I saw were paid internships. One was an automaker. Again, you're not going to be making the salary of what you would be, um, as you become more of an expert in Salesforce Marketing Cloud. But if you want to start somewhere, you can definitely position to see if there's internships as well, because they're coming under the expectation. So there's volunteer, but then, the interns, like they're under the assumption that, you're there to learn. So they might have programs set up for that as well. More of a knowledge-based video kind of programming. And then there's also like, I call them incubators, but there's like a Pep Up Tech. There's another company that's, you start to work on projects and they pay you at one rate, right? While you get your certifications, then you get certifications. Then you move to other projects. There's a few companies out there like that, that start you at that like entry level and then help you establish getting the certs. And, if at the end of it, the goal is that you're, either working for them or placed with one of their clients. So I've
Yeah.
seen those. And then I would also say too, just from experience in purchasing people to implement Salesforce Marketing Cloud, there's implementation companies, Salesforce partners that are big shops, right? So if you look at like the big agencies or some of the big um, Salesforce implementation partners, they could have opportunities like more so I think on the intern or junior level or entry or teaching level, like they're teaching you and giving you the coursework to go through. I've seen some of those programs popping up as well in the bigger agencies. Again, there's also that difference of working on one client's Salesforce Marketing Cloud instance or agency style where you may be working on 5 or 6 different clients that like agencies aren't for everyone. So that's another thing to consider when you're looking for like, the entry level breaking into marketing cloud, getting real world experience. So I say the burnout is high sometimes if you're working agencies, which, it's just preference, um, but it's fun, right? We're doing calculus and algebra every day. Like, who wouldn't want to do that as we're writing SQL code? So it's fun, and you get to work with great people from different technical backgrounds within, the various companies. So, like, I'm always learning um, who I can, learn. Not that I want to learn Python right now, but, now we have AI. So I took prompt engineering out of one of the titles because that's a whole other section, but with AI, it could be really advantageous. So there could be some Salesforce dev orgs out there that have features of Marketing Cloud that you might be able to have access to. With this growth section, I haven't had a chance yet to look at it, but I feel that coming on. So if Marketing Cloud itself seems really like you don't know where to begin, but you want a job in marketing maybe, or as an email developer with working with account engagement directly in Salesforce, it's a little more user friendly, I think, at times. So they both have their pros and cons, and then also building emails within Salesforce CRM.
Yeah, and my second question was about the dev org, either with Marketing Cloud Growth or any outside demo orgs available for learners or beginners or who want to switch their careers to Marketing Cloud. You answered it.
So there's no traditional dev org, right? It's not like Essentials or CRM where you can do a dev org. Unfortunately, I think they might be making them available. I'll have to double check and can let you know to tell the group. But I maybe with marketing growth. So I'm interested to really dive into that because I feel like it's going to be it's Marketing Cloud growth. So I feel like it's going to have some of the Marketing Cloud SFMC proper um, attributes. So that's something to look out for. Did you want to do questions, the Q&A from the last session too? Or did we cover everything?
I think we covered everything.
Okay.
Yeah. We don't have any questions for the last session on the email. So yeah.
Okay. Awesome. So is anybody in this group currently not working in Salesforce Marketing Cloud? And
I will raise my 2 hands. Yeah. And Deborah also.
Okay, well, I'll keep an eye out. I'm part of a lot of these boards, so just joining groups like this, and there's like how to SFMC. That's a great one. To have a Slack channel. There's groups of people out there talking about this. So this is a good time to be in Marketing Cloud, and it's needed. Again, if you're SQL, oh, Ivan, you're not working in Marketing Cloud.
Yeah.
You're Sales Cloud, right? Okay, so Deborah, you're intermediate. Service Cloud. Service Cloud and Marketing Cloud are good to know because here's the thing. And I was going to put this as a tile too, having knowledge of Salesforce, so I don't want to say a lot of people, but cloud is one of those platforms that you don't have to SSO into Salesforce CRM. So a lot of companies don't even use Salesforce CRM. So when they do want to implement it, or there is a company that has both systems and service cloud as well, knowing the intricacies of CRM is vital because they are two different systems. I mean, you would think that there would be some similarity. Now with Einstein and like intelligence reports, we're getting some sort of familiarity, but for instance, CRM and service flows, they're linear. Marketing Cloud Journey Builder is horizontal, like just things like that, and like the options are different. So I would say understanding Service Cloud is great because not a lot of I don't want to say not a lot of, but the Service Cloud to Marketing Cloud relationship is e-commerce really at the end of the day. So there's a lot of businesses in that, or a lot of opportunities in that. And then vice versa, right? Understanding what data you want to be pushed over from service and then back into Marketing Cloud. It's just your infrastructure. But yeah, I love Service Cloud. I think it's great.
And one last question from my end. So, having basic knowledge of Python is an advantage, or it's just a stress or add-on for Marketing Cloud future, I'm saying.
So I think it's good to overall know because you're integrating with different applications, right? So instead of going to like a Zapier or another kind of webhook middleware, understanding how you could build apps and talk to different systems, that's one of the languages that are popping up, that I see. You don't need it to, like directly to work in Marketing Cloud, unless you have like certain integrations or need apps, but I see a lot of like Drupal integrations. I see a lot of, account center encrypted data, through PGP decryption policies. Like I see a lot of that. Also, I see a lot of like LiveRamp and SMS integrations so that you have that omni-channel view of your customer data, and then that kind of feeds into data cloud. So there's another layer, right? But understanding Marketing Cloud at a core, and maybe going back to that data architecture side of it, it's good to know how Salesforce Marketing Cloud works and was built, but you know a company could probably use it for just their emails if they wanted, and have different systems that host everything else. So it's really interesting to see the different configurations.
Anyone else has any question? Shall we take it as a no?
We'll take it as a no. I think you have a follow-up email, you know, or a website, right? Do you want to share the website?
Which one you're
Is there,
saying?
I thought there was a blog that went along. Sorry. I might be thinking the Salesforce developer group. Don't you have a blog maybe afterwards that you publish things, or?
Yeah, we will be. Yeah, we will be wrapping up the session and then. Yeah,
Right.
I'm so sorry. Yeah,
No, you're good. Well,
we will share that actually. Thank you so much, T. And
thank
yeah,
you.
I could listen at least the partial positive answers for volunteering opportunities. But yeah, if you could let us know or name some organizations or websites where we can really, approach them for volunteering so that we can help them, and in return we can learn the actual Marketing Cloud. That would be fine and, absolutely awesome for the learners or beginners.
Okay.
And I will be one of them for sure.
Awesome. Well, I will put a list together and send it to you to publish to the group.
Sure thing. And I will take care of it. And yeah, whenever you have something to share, please come on board and let us know so that we can have one more session. Need not be just transferable, but Yeah, marketing cloud growth. I'm more curious to know about that from you or the data cloud.
Perfect.
Uh,
Thank you.
yeah, I
Well,
think
it's been a pleasure.
someone is talking.
Oh no, I was just saying it was a pleasure. Thank you. I love
No, no.
sharing with this group. You guys
Oh,
are
yeah, yeah, sure thing. And with
awesome.
that, we will just close this one. And thank you so much once again, Dee. And thank you all for joining.
Okay, thanks everyone.
Yep, bye.
Bye.